Hi friends, in the previous class you came to learn the basics of voice. In today's class you are going to learn negative type. In the examinations they will give questions from even negative type. So here is a table which can help you how to answer the questions from negative. In the examinations, if you are asked any negative activities, how to change them into passive voice. How to find out whether it is a positive sentence or negative sentence? See, I write a story, it is a positive statement. I don't write a story, it is called a negative statement. See, for example, if it is a positive statement, what is your answer? I write a story. A story is written by me. That is the passive for positive statement. But it is not positive statement, it is a negative statement. I don't write a story. So whenever you see this negative form, not should be written after the helping verb. A story, I don't write a story. This is active voice. The passive voice is a story is not written by me. For example, subject is we here. We means it becomes us. I becomes me. So there will be changes in pronouns. So for example, if the active voice starts with I, the passive voice should end with me. If the active voice starts with we, the passive voice should end with us. If the active voice starts with you, the passive voice should end with you. If the active voice starts with they, the passive voice should end with them. If the active voice starts with he, the passive voice should end with him. If the active voice starts with she, the passive voice should end with her. So like this, there will be some changes in pronouns. Pronouns should not be written as it is in the passive voice. Whenever you see I, that should be changed into me. I becomes me, we becomes us, you becomes you, they becomes them, he becomes him, she becomes her. For example, one name is there. Pradeep is there. Pradeep doesn't write a story. So Pradeep is a noun. So nouns should not be changed. Nouns should be written as it is. A story is not written by Pradeep. There won't be any changes in nouns, but there will be changes only in pronouns. Whenever you see I, we, you, they, he, she, you should change them. Right, friends. Here, I don't write a story. In this active voice, object is singular. So that's what a story is not written by me. For example, let's think that it is a plural object. I don't write stories. Stories is plural. So stories are. Singular means a story is. Plural, stories. Stories are not written by me. The same subject, you can just imagine the same sentence with the subject we. We becomes us. For example, you becomes you, they, them, he, him, she, her. For example, Kiran, that becomes the same, Kiran only. There won't be any changes in nouns. This sentence has been given from simple present tense. So this table from tenses, 8 tenses only can be changed into passive voices. This is from simple present tense, this is from present continuous, this is from present perfect tense, this is from simple past, this is from past continuous, this is from past perfect tense, this is from simple future tense, this is from future perfect tense. So like this 8 tenses orderly have been given here. So this is from simple present tense. So friends, in the examinations, if they give negative statements from simple present tense, this is the process of changing into passive voice. If they give singular object, that object should start with a singular helping verb is. If they give plural object, stories or books or any plural object, so R should be taken here. R should be taken. So whenever you see either don't or doesn't in the active voice, whenever you see either don't or doesn't in the active voice, the passive voice should be started with either is or are. Is or are, A-R-E-R. So if the singular object is there, no, you can start with is. If you find out any plural object, are should be used. Okay, for example, let's take one more subject. He don't write a story is wrong. He doesn't. For he, she and any singular, we should use doesn't. He doesn't write a story. The passive voice is a story is not written by him. One more example. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't watch TV. So after 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗓 we should use don't. After 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗓 and any plural subject. I don't, we don't, you don't, they don't, my friends don't, my brothers don't, like that. So for he, she and any singular subject, okay, doesn't should be used. He doesn't write, she doesn't write, Srikanth doesn't write, Mallesh doesn't write, Shiva doesn't write, Jagadish doesn't write, Manasa doesn't write. So like that. Next, let's take present continuous tense. I am not writing a story. So I am writing a story. This is also present continuous but positive statement. I am, for example, I am writing a story. Answer is a story is being written by me. I have already told you that whenever you find out ing form in the active voice, being should be used in the passive voice. Is it a positive sentence or negative sentence? See, whenever you find out not after the helping verb, but that is called a negative sentence. So how to change negative sentences? See, I am not writing a story. A story is not being written by me. Those who are good at how to change positive statements into negative statements, it will become very easy for you. Same, but not should be used after the helping verb. In the previous class, I explained several times how to change positive statements into negative. If you are very good at those sentences, you can easily change these all negative sentences into passive voices. Just not should be written. In every sentence after the helping verbs, not should be mentioned, that's it. I am not writing a story. A story is not being written by me. For example, stories. I am not writing stories, plural object. Stories are not being written by me. Let's take another subject. For example, subject is here Prabhakar. Prabhakar is not writing a story. A story is not being written by Prabhakar. For example, plural. Sarita is not writing stories. Different subject with plural object. Sarita is not writing stories. Answer is stories are not being written by Sarita. So like that you can take any subject, friends. If you find out a singular object, here is should be taken. If you find out a plural object, are should be taken. Next, let's take present perfect tense. I have not written a story. How can you find out it is present perfect tense? Whenever you find out have, has and the main verb, if the main verb is in the third form, you can treat that sentence is from present perfect tense. I have not written a story. So singular object is there. So a story has not been written by me. For example, plural object, stories. I have not written stories. Stories have not been written by me. You can change the subject. For example, here the subject is Kalyan. Kalyan has not written a story. A story has not been written by Kalyan. So like that. Next, simple past tense. I did not write a story. Which tense it is? Is it simple present tense or simple past? Simple past. See, whenever you find out did is the helping verb which is used only in simple past tense. See, I did not write a story. It is a sentence. It is a negative sentence from simple past. Now let's see how to change this negative sentence, how to change it into passive voice. See friends, whenever you see did in the active voice, so in the passive voice either was or were should be used. Please don't forget it. Whenever you find out did in the active voice, in that passive voice either was or were should be used. If you find out a singular object, you should use was. If you find out a plural object, were should be used. For any singular object, was should be used. For any plural object, were should be used. Right, I did not write a story. So, a story is a singular object. So, answer is a story was not written by me. For example, plural, I did not write stories. I did not write stories. So, in this sentence the object is plural. So, for plural subject which helping verb should be taken? Were. So, here we can call them be form. So, stories were not written by me. Let us change the subject. Now, we are going to change the subject with other subjects. Let us practice. Karthik did not write a story. A story was not written by Karthik. You can take any subject. You can take any subject. Okay. So, if you take the different pronouns, you can find out some changes, but if you take the nouns, there won't be any changes in nouns. Nouns should be written as it is. If the active voice starts with Kiran, the passive voice also should end with Kiran only. We should not change the nouns, but we should change the pronouns. If the active voice starts with I, the passive voice should end with me. So, like that. Friends, let us see another tense, that is past continuous tense. I was not writing a story. It is a sentence which has been given from past continuous tense. How can you find out it is a past continuous sentence? See, whenever you find out the helping verbs like was or were and ing form, that is called a past continuous sentence. I was not writing a story. It is a sentence. It is a negative sentence of past continuous tense. So, in the previous class, you came to learn that how to change all the positive sentences from past continuous into passive voice. Same, see, if I close it, it becomes a positive statement. I was writing a story. A story was not being written by me. So, it is negative. After the helping verb, if you add not, that becomes a negative sentence. So, even in the passive voice also, after the helping verb, not should be written. So, dear friends, if you are very good at positive sentences, how to change positive sentences into passive voices, you can easily change the negative sentences also into passive voice. See, I was not writing a story. A story was not being written by me. Why did we use being? Whenever we use ing form in the active voice, being should be used in the passive voice. Next, for example, let us take a plural object. Sanjay was reading books. Sanjay was reading books. This is another example, plural object, the sentence which contains a plural object. Sanjay was not reading books. Negative statement. Sanjay was not reading books. Books were not being read by Sanjay. Next, one more example with plural object. For example, subject is Sujata. Sujata was not asking doubts. The passive voice is doubts were not being asked by Sujata. Okay, one more example. Raju, a sentence with singular object. Raju was not watching TV. Raju was not watching TV. Answer is TV was not being watched by Raju. One more example. Manasa was not watching TV. TV was not being watched by Manasa. Like that. These are the examples from past continuous tense. Next, let us see past perfect tense. I had not written a story. How can you find out this is the sentence of past perfect tense? See, had. Whenever you find out had and if the main verb is in the third form, so that sentence is from past perfect tense. I had not written a story. Okay, it is a negative sentence of past perfect tense. Now we are going to change this into passive voice. A story had not been written by me. So friends, in the previous class I told you that whenever you find out have, has or had in the active voice, been should be written in the passivize, been should be written. See, I had not written a story. So, object, the passivize should be started with object. A story had not. Here the activize is I had not written a story. A story had not been written by me. So, friends, from past perfect tense, if you see a plural object or singular object, there won't be any changes in the passivize, because in past perfect tense there is only one helping verb, that is had. So, had can be used for singular and plural object. I am going to give you one beautiful example. For example, Shravani had not asked a doubt. Shravani had not asked a doubt. A doubt had not been asked by Shravani. So, doubt is a singular object. Okay. Now, let us see with plural object. Sujata had not asked doubts. Sujata had not asked doubts. Answer is doubts had not been asked by Sujata. See, whenever you see an activize from past perfect tense, if that activize contains either singular object or plural object, in the passivize you cannot find out any changes. For the singular and plural object, had only should be written, had been, had been. Next, simple future. I won't. Friends, let us see a new tense, that is simple future tense. I won't write a story. Won't means will plus not. Will plus not is called won't, short form of will plus not. I won't write a story. It is a negative statement of simple future tense. Now we are going to change into passivize. So, I have already told you several times that the passivize should be started with object. A story will not be written by me. So, friends, one important point here, whenever you see any sentence from simple future, if that activize contains either singular object or plural object, there won't be any changes in the passivize. For example, this sentence contains a singular object, story is a singular object. So, a story will not be written by me, that is the answer. For example, let us see the same sentence with plural object. I won't write stories. I won't write stories. A stories we should not say. Indefinite articles either a or an should be used only before singulars. So, stories, it is a plural word. A stories we should not write. Stories only. I won't write stories. So, the answer is, the passivize is stories will not be written by me. That is it. You cannot find out any changes. Even in past perfect tense also, I had not written a story or I had not written stories. So, whether a sentence from past perfect tense or simple future, if those sentences contain either singular objects or plural object, there won't be any changes in the passivize. Next, let us see future perfect tense. I will not have written a story. So, will have or shall have plus V3, verb third form, means that is from future perfect tense. I will not have written a story. It is a singular object. Even in future perfect tense also, if the activize contains either a singular object or plural object, there won't be any changes in the passivize. So, a story will not have been written by me. Plural, I will not have written stories. Same, stories will not have been written by me. So, friends, this is the table of 8 tenses from negative type. So, once again I am going to explain all the tenses. This is from simple present tense, this is from present continuous, this is from present perfect, this is from simple past, this is from past continuous tense, this is from past perfect tense, this is from simple future, and the last one is from future perfect tense. So, in simple present tense, how can you find out it is a negative sentence of simple present tense? See friends, whenever you find out either don't or doesn't in the negative sentence, that is called a simple present tense negative statement. Okay. Next, whenever you find out am, is, are plus not, that is a negative sentence of present continuous. I am not, we are not, you are not, they are not, he is not, she is not. Here after I, we, you, they don't, after he, she and any singular subject doesn't. So whenever you find out either don't or doesn't in the sentence, that is a negative sentence or negative statement of simple present tense. Whenever you find out am not or is not or are not, those are the statements or sentences of present continuous. Whenever you find out have not or has not, such sentences are called negative statements of present perfect tense. Next, whenever you find out did not, did plus not, that is a negative sentence of simple past. Whenever you find out was not or were not, these sentences from past continuous. Next, when you find out had not, that is called a past perfect tense sentence. Will not or shall not, will not becomes won't, shall not becomes shan't. So you can think that such sentences from simple future. Next, will not have or shall not have, those sentences from future perfect tense. So friends, with the help of the helping verbs only you can find out the name of the tenses. So this is something about a negative type of active wise and passive wise. Friends, let's learn another type, that is the third type of active wise and passive wise, that is called interrogative type. Means in the examinations they will give you some sentences from active wise. Questions will be given. See, do you ask a doubt? Do you ask a doubt? So here up to simple future I have given tense wise. This is from simple present tense, this is from present continuous, this is from present perfect tense, this is from simple past, this is from past continuous, this is from past perfect, this is from simple future, this is from modal verbs. Can, could, shall, should, will, would, like that. The last one from modal verbs, not, it is not a tense. So friends, now let's see how to change interrogative active voices into passive voices. Very simple. Do you ask a doubt? So friends, whenever the active voice starts with either do or does, the passive voice should be started with am, is, are. Once again I am going to tell you, when the active voice starts with either do or does, the passive voice should always start with am, is, are. So if that active voice contains a singular object, the passive voice should be started with is. If the given active voice contains a plural object, the passive voice should be started with are. Do you ask a doubt? It is a simple present tense sentence. Friends, how to find out whether it is simple present tense or simple past? See, do and does. So whenever you see either do or does, you can think that such sentences from simple present tense. In simple present tense there are two helping verbs, they are do and does. So if any sentence starts with either do or does, you can think that they are from simple present tense. So whenever you see an active voice which starts with either do or does, you should start the passive voice with am, is, are only. Am, is, are. So it depends upon the object. If there is a singular object, is should be used here. If there is any plural object, are should be used. Let's see the same sentence with plural object. Do you ask doubts? Do you ask doubts? Doubts plural. So are. Doubt means is. If the singular object is there, is should be used. If the plural object is there, are should be used. Are doubts asked by you? Let's see another subject. For example, he. So does he ask a doubt? Does he, not do he. Do should be used before I, you, they and any plural object. Do you ask a doubt? Do they ask a doubt? Do your friends ask a doubt? Like that. So does should be used before singulars like he, she and any singular name. Does he ask a doubt? Does she ask a doubt? Does Subhash ask a doubt? Does Sudhir ask a doubt? Does Raghu ask a doubt? Like that. For example, if we add all the names Subhash, Raghu and Sudhir, so plural, do Subhash, Sudhir and Raghu ask a doubt. So like that, friends. So before 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗬 and any plural subjects we should use do. Before he, she and any singular subject does should be used. Does he, for example, does he ask a doubt? Is a doubt asked by him? She means does she ask a doubt? Is a doubt asked by her? Like that. These are the examples of simple present tense interrogative sentences. Next, are they asking doubts? Are they asking doubts? It is an active sentence, that's fine. Is it positive or negative or interrogative type? See, if this active is starts with the subject, where is the subject here? There is the subject here. They are asking doubts, for example. This is called positive type sentence. They are asking doubts. Negative type means they are not asking doubts. Interrogative type means are they asking doubts? That is called interrogative type. So friends, in present continuous tense, interrogative sentences always start with am, is, are. So friends, in the examinations, whenever you find out an active is which ends with question mark, first you should find out whether it is an interrogative sentence, means whether it is yes or no type question or 𝗪𝗁 type question. So if any question starts with helping verb, that is called as yes or no type question. So in English, yes or no type questions start with helping verbs. See, are they asking doubts? Which tense it is? Present continuous. How can you find out it is called a present continuous tense? So whenever you find out the helping verbs like am, is, are plus ing form, V1 plus ing form. So such sentences are called as present continuous. Again, whether it is positive or negative, see question mark is there. It is an interrogative sentence. Shall we change into passive voice now? Yes. See friends, so before going to change this active voice into passive voice, you should find out whether the object is singular or plural. So doubts, plural object. So friends, again, when the active voice starts with am, is, are, the passive voice also should be started with am, is, are. Here important point. Just 2 minutes ago what I told you, if the active voice starts with do or does, the passive voice should be started with am, is, are, I told you. Again I am going to tell you, the passive voice also should be started with am, is, are. When the active voice starts with am, is, are, the passive voice also should be started with am, is, are. Right. So doubts plural. Are doubts. Are doubts. Why should we use being? Whenever we find out ing form in the active voice, being should be used in the passive voice. So are doubts being asked by them. So here the subject is they becomes them. For example, he is there. Is he asking doubts? He becomes him. For example, she is there. Is she asking doubts? She becomes her. For example, I is there. Am I asking doubts? I becomes me. Okay. For example, singular is there. Are they asking a doubt? Doubt singular. So is a doubt being asked by them? Like that. Let's see another tense, that is present perfect tense. Has he asked a doubt? It is a sentence from present perfect tense. How can you find out? Friends, in any sentence, if you find out either have or has and the verb which is in the third form, that sentence is from present perfect tense. So in present perfect tense, yes or no type interrogative sentences start with either have or has. Only two helping verbs are there in present perfect tense. They are have and has. See, has he asked a doubt? Has he asked a doubt? See, before 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗬 and any plural subjects, have should be used in the beginning of the sentence. Before he, she and any singular subject, has should be used. See, has he asked? Have you asked? Have they asked? Has she asked? Has a student? Has a student asked? For example, students plural. Have students asked? So friends, for a singular subject, has should be used. For plural subjects, have should be used. Has he asked a doubt? Here object is singular. So for singular objects has, for plural objects have should be used. So friends, when the active voice starts with either have or has, even the passive voice also should be started with have or has. It's important hint I can say. If the active voice starts with do or does, the passive voice should be started with am, is, are only. If the active voice starts with am, is, are, even the passive voice also should be started with am, is, are. When the active voice starts with either have or has, even the passive voice also should be started with have or has. Don't forget, it's important hint. If the active voice starts with have or has, even the passive voice also should be started with have or has. In the competitive exams, questions will be given like this. For example, has he taken breakfast? Has he taken breakfast? This question has been given in the examination. Whatever the exam you are going to write, in any competitive exams, questions will be given like this. Has he taken breakfast? So this sentence has started with has. So the passive voice also should be started with have or has only. You should not start with any other helping verb. So in the examination, after giving one question, 4 options will be given. So among those 4 options, which option is going to be started with either have or has, you should find out. If you know this technique, you can save the time. The question is, has he taken breakfast? In the examination, this question has been given. That question is, has he taken breakfast? 4 options are there. Option A, is breakfast being taken by him? Option B, are breakfast being taken by him? Option C, has breakfast been taken by him? Option D, had breakfast been taken by him? So which one? C. Option C, has breakfast been taken by him? So friends, when they give options like that, you should observe which option has started with either have or has. So whatever the option has started with either have or has, that may be that is the answer. For example, option A has started with has, option B has started with have. So you should find out if the singular object is there, that should be started with has. If the plural object is there, that should be started with have. Friends, let's see example from simple past. In the examination, they may give an interrogative sentence from any tense. 8 tenses are there. Totally there are 12 tenses, but from only 8 tenses, questions will be asked. So here is a question from simple past. How can you know that it is from simple past? In simple past, an interrogative sentence always starts with did. If whatever the subject it may be, okay, before any subject we can use the did. Before I, we, you, they, he, she, singular and plural. Any subject should be started with did in simple past. For example, did you watch that movie? Did they watch that movie? Did he watch that movie? Did she watch that movie? Did a student watch that movie? Did students watch that movie? So friends, in simple past, any question, any interrogative sentence starts with did only, whatever the subject it may be. So did she ask a doubt, or did he ask a doubt, or did they ask a doubt? So like that, there won't be any changes. But here it's not like that. Do you ask a doubt? Do they ask a doubt? He, does he, she, does she. See, there are some changes. Let's see in present continuous. Are they asking doubts? Are you asking doubts? For example, he, is he. Helping verbs are going to be changed. She, is she. Let's see in present perfect tense. Can we find out any changes or not? Has he asked? Okay. Has she asked? Fine. For example, subject is you. Has you is wrong. Have you asked? For example, subject is they. Has they is wrong. Have they. So we can find some changes in simple present tense, in present continuous, in present perfect tense. Friends, in simple past we cannot find any changes. Whatever the subject it is, whether it is singular or plural. Okay, any subject, before any subject you can use did. In simple past there is only one helping verb. So did she ask a doubt? Now we are going to change this active voice into passive voice. Friends, I am going to give you another technique here. Whenever the active voice starts with did, the passive voice should always be started with was or were. Please remember, if the active voice starts with did, the passive voice should be started with either was or were only. No other helping verb should be used here. If you know this technique in the examination, you can save the time. For example, you have been asked a question. Did you attend a function yesterday? This is the question in the examination. Did you attend a function yesterday? This question has started with did. So 4 options will be given. One option may be started with am, is, or another option may be started with will or can or should. So different options will be started with different helping verbs. So you should find out, whenever you see such questions which start with did, whatever the option has started either with was or were, answer may be there itself. For example, 2 options are there. One option has started with was, another option has started with were. So in the given active voice, if the object is singular, that answer should be started with was. In the given sentence, if the plural object is there, the answer should be started with were. So like that, friends, whenever the active voice starts with either when the active voice starts with did, the passive voice should always be started with was or were. So did she ask a doubt? Was a doubt asked by her? For example, plural object. Did she ask doubts? Doubts plural. Were doubts asked by her. You can change the subject, any subject. For example, did they ask a doubt, or did they watch a movie, or did they take dinner? For example, did they take dinner? Dinner is singular. Was dinner taken by them? So like that, friends. Next, let's see past continuous tense. Was Subhash asking a doubt? It is a question from past continuous. How can you find out this is from past continuous? What are the helping verbs in past continuous? There are 2 helping verbs in past continuous. They are was and were. So friends, in the sentences, whether it is a positive or negative or interrogative sentence, if you find out either was or were and ing form to the main verb, that sentence is from past continuous. So was Subhash asking a doubt? It is a question from past continuous tense. So with what it has started? It has been started. This active voice has started with was. Friends, when the active voice starts with either was or were, even the passive voice also should be started with either was or were. Please remember, it's an important point. Whenever the active voice starts with either was or were, even the passive voice also should be started with was or were. Then passive voice with was or were means it depends upon the object in the active voice. If the active voice contains a singular object, the passive voice should be started with singular helping verb. We can call this word like a B form also, right? So singular, was a doubt being asked by Subhash. For example, plural, was Subhash asking doubts, plural object. What is the plural helping verb in past continuous? Were. Were doubts being asked by Subhash. Let's see one more tense here, that is past perfect tense. Had Raghu asked a doubt? It is an active voice. So before going to change this active voice into passive voice, you should find out which tense it is. See, it is from past perfect tense. Friends, how can you find out this is from past perfect tense? So in this sentence, had is there and the main verb is in the third form. Had Raghu asked a doubt? This is from past perfect tense. How can you find out it is from past perfect tense? Friends, when you find out had and the third form of the verb in one sentence, you can think that sentence is from past perfect tense. In the past perfect tense, there is only one helping verb, that is had. So had Raghu asked a doubt. Now we are going to change this into passive voice. Here I am going to tell you another beautiful technique. Please remember, don't forget it. Friends, whenever the active wise starts with had, even the passive wise also should be started with had only. In that active wise, if the object is singular or plural, no problem at all. Even if that sentence contains a singular object or plural object, the passive wise should be started with had only. Please remember, because in past perfect tense there is only one helping verb. For singulars and plurals, had only should be used. Once again I am going to tell you, it's a beautiful technique which helps you a lot. When the active wise starts with had, even the passive wise also should be started with had. It helps you in the examination. While you are writing exams, you have seen a question which has started with had. 4 options will be given. So one option may start with has, another option may start with have, one option may start with was or were, or there is one option which has started with had. That is the answer. For example, two options are there which have been started with had. There is no chance at all, because in past perfect tense for plural object or singular object had only should be used. So if the active wise starts with had, the passive wise should also be started with had. Please remember that. There won't be any changes for singulars and plurals. Had Raghu asked a doubt? Answer is, had a doubt been asked by Raghu? Plural. Had Raghu asked doubts? Had doubts been asked by Raghu? Here we have used been. I have already told you when I was teaching basics of active wise and passive wise, when should we use been, I have explained very clearly. Once again I am going to explain when should we use been, when should we use being. When the active wise contains ing form, we should use being in the passive wise. When the active wise contains have, has, had, we should use been in the passive. So had is there, that's what we used been. Next, here is a sentence. Will Sudhir ask a doubt? Okay, it is a question. From which tense it is? How to find out? Will is there. Whenever you find out either shall or will in any sentence, and apart from shall or will, you should also find out the first form of the verb. Here ask is the first form of the verb. So shall or will plus one first form of the verb. If these are available in one sentence, you can treat that sentence is from simple future tense. So will Sudhir ask a doubt? So friends, whenever the active wise starts with will, even the passive wise also should be started with will. If the object is singular or plural, there won't be any changes. If the active wise starts with will, even the passive wise also should be started with will. Please remember this technique. Will Sudhir ask a doubt? Singular object. Answer is, will a doubt be asked by Sudhir? For example, plural object. Will Sudhir ask doubts? Plural object. No changes. There won't be any changes. Because will can be used for singular objects and plural objects. Please don't think that shall should be used for singular objects, will should be used for plural objects. It's not like that. Will can be used for plural and singular objects. So, will Sudhir ask doubts? Will doubts be asked by Sudhir? So, friends, from here to here, we have practiced with 7 tenses. Here is an example from modal verbs. Modal verbs means shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might. So friends, in the examination, whenever you happen to see a question from modal verbs or modals like can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, like that. So if the active wise starts with can, even the passive wise also should be started with can. If the active wise starts with could, the passive wise also should be started with could. If the active wise starts with should, the passive wise also should be started with should. So whatever the modal verb is used in the beginning of the sentence, even the passive wise also should be started with the same modal verb. If the active wise starts with can, the passive wise also should be started with can. Could means could, should means should, may means may, like that. So can you write a story. I have told you, no, even the passive voice also should be started with can. Can a story be written by you? For example, let's see plural object. Can we find out any changes? No, not at all. Can should be used for singular and plural objects. Can you write stories? Can stories be written by you? Like this, friends. Let's take one more example. Should you write a story? Should a story be written by you? Even for plural also. Should you write stories? Should stories be written by you? Like that. Friends, this is the table of interrogative type. So this is from simple present tense. In simple present tense, questions start with either do or does. This is from present continuous. In present continuous, questions start with am, is, are. This sentence is from present perfect tense. In present perfect tense, questions start with have or has. This is from simple past. In simple past, the questions always start with did. This is from past continuous. In past continuous, there are two helping verbs. They are was and were. In past perfect tense, there is only one helping verb, that is had. This is simple future, will. These are from modal verbs, can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, like that, even must. So this is the table of interrogative type. It will help you a lot, because in the examinations sometimes they will give you positive statements, sometimes they may give negative statements, some other times they may also give interrogative sentence like this. So friends, if the active voice ends with question mark, even the passive voice also should end with question mark. Please don't forget it. So in the active voice, so whatever the category of helping verb is there, which belongs to that tense, the same tense helping verbs only should be used in the passive voice. Friends, here is another type in active voice passive voice, that is called 𝗹𝗫 type. So some of you may think in the examination only positive questions will be given. Please don't think like that. In small examinations like SSC intermediate, some positive or negative sentences will be given. But in competitive exams, so from any type they may give questions. They may give a question from positive type or negative type, interrogative type or 𝗹𝗫 type. So far you have learnt positive sentence type, positive type, negative type and interrogative type also. So now let's learn how to change active voices into passive voices from 𝗹𝗫 type. So friends, if you are good at interrogative type, it will become very easy. See, if I close this 𝗹𝗫 word, it becomes an interrogative sentence, interrogative type. If I close all these 𝗹𝗫 words, friends, you can imagine this table without 𝗹𝗫 words like why, how, where, how, why and when. If you close all the 𝗹𝗫 words, again this table will become an interrogative type. So friends, if you learn very well interrogative type, this 𝗹𝗫 type questions will become very easy for you. See, for example, do you eat a banana? Is it an interrogative type or not? Do you eat a banana? Interrogative. In interrogative type, every question starts with helping verbs. Helping verbs. See, do or does from simple present tense. See, if you learn interrogative sentence, 𝗹𝗫 type question becomes very easy for you. See, just the only difference is 𝗹𝗫 word is there. If I close this, it is called an interrogative sentence. Do you eat a banana? Answer is a banana eaten by you. So now, why do you eat banana? Just one 𝗹𝗫 word is there. You can add the same 𝗹𝗫 word here. Why? So if the active voice starts with what or where or when or why or how, so whatever the 𝗹𝗫 word is written here in the beginning of the active voice, even the passive voice also should be started with the same 𝗹𝗫 word. If the active voice starts with what, the passive voice also should be started with what. If the active voice starts with where, the passive voice also should be started with where. If the active voice starts with how, the passive voice also should be started with how. So friends, if whatever the active voice starts with whatever the 𝗹H type it is. If the active starts with what or where or when or why or how, even the passive voice also should be started with the same 𝗹H type words. So, you do not need to learn 𝗹H type especially. If you are very good at interrogative type, it becomes very easy for you. See, if I close these two words, it becomes an interrogative type. Do you eat a banana? Is a banana eaten by you? See, just 𝗹H word is there, that is it. So, why do you eat a banana? It is from simple present tense. How can you find out? If the helping verbs like do or does are available in this sentence, you can think that it is from simple present tense. So, again the passive voice also should be started with why. So, why is a banana? Banana is singular. Banana is singular. So, that is what is should be used. For example, object is plural, bananas, then are should be used. So, it is singular object. So, why is a banana eaten by you? So, here eat is there, there eaten is there. So, friends, in the active voice, the verb can be in the first form or second form or in the third form, but the passive voice should always contain the third form of the verb. So, this is from simple present tense. Why do you eat bananas? Plural. Why do you eat bananas? Why are bananas eaten by you? You can take subject she. Why does she? Why does she eat a banana? Why is a banana eaten by her? Like that. Next, am is or placing form means it is present continuous. See, if I close it, again it becomes interrogative type. Is she eating bananas? Are bananas being eaten by her? That is called interrogative type. See, now 𝗹H type. See friends, for the interrogative sentence, for any interrogative sentence, if you add any 𝗹H word, that becomes 𝗹H type question, that is it. Why is she eating bananas? Ing form is there. So, why are bananas being eaten by her? For example, singular object is there. Why is she eating banana? Why is banana being eaten by her? Next here, present perfect tense, have has plus V3 means present perfect tense. Why has he taken your book? Why has your book been taken by him? So, whenever we find out have or has or had in the active voice, been should be written in the passive voice. For example, plural object is there, books. Books means here have should be used. Why have your books been taken by you? So, if the subject is he, there him should be used. If the subject is you, you only. If the subject is they, that becomes them. I becomes me. So, like that. Next, how did they watch a movie? This is simple past. So, in simple past, if the singular or plural object, no changes. How was a movie watched by them? For example, in the active voice, you cannot find out changes, but in the passive voice, there will be some changes. If the active voice contains a singular object, was should be used. If the active voice contains plural object, were should be used. Movies means were. Next, where was he taking lunch? Past continuous. So, where was lunch being taken by him? So, ing form is there, that is what we used, being. Even in past continuous also, for plural object, were should be used. How can you, these are models, how can you write books? So, whenever you find out models like can, should and will, whether it is a singular object or plural object, you cannot find out any changes in the passive voices. So, how can you write books or how can you write a book? How can books or how can book be written by you? Why should she sing a song? Why should a song be sung by her? Even songs also, there won't be any change. Why should songs be sung by her? When will they attend the function? This is from simple future. So, even in simple future also, if the object is singular or plural, there won't be any changes in the passive. So, when will the function be attended by them? So, friends, if you learn the basics well, in the previous classes I taught very slowly about the basics of active voice, passive voice. If you are very good at the basics of active voice and passive voice, negative type and interrogative type and 𝗹H type, these all will become very easy for you. I hope you understood very well. So, in the examinations they may give questions from positive type, negative type, interrogative type and 𝗕H type. So, friends, if you are very good at all these topics, you can answer very well in the examinations. I hope you understood very well. I thank you very much.